Hi guys, I'm Cerberus, and this is Garage C. Welcome to episode section 8. I'm giving up on part numbers. I keep telling myself I'm going to, and I keep saying it anyway. I will. Today, back here in Garage C with our collection of engines. It's growing, but we have one that works. Well, kind of one and a half. So we're going to find out. They're all laughing in the background now because they think I'm collecting engines for Christmas or something.
He is.
We're going to find out what the state of the engine that sat in Doug's shed for a long time actually is. We've got, courtesy of the eBay, a really cheap Chinese endoscope, USB camera on a wire, and it's got a light on the end as well, which is great. We're going to drop that down the spark plug hole and have a quick look and see what it's like. We're also going to take the intake manifold, the EGR stuff off of the race car engine and start getting that prepped to go into Whisper.
I realised as I was coming to edit this all together that I'd put this endoscope into the engine and not actually said a word, so I'm having to do something I've never done before, another first for Garage C, and do a voiceover. So here we go, popping the borescope down. It's not a borescope, it's a cheap Chinese endoscope, and it's poor, it's very poor, but it was very cheap. The focus on it is pretty awful, but you can see that piston top there, it's a little bit oily because I dropped quite a lot of oil down these bores before I turned this engine over because it had stood for so long. Oh, and please ignore the fact that I sound like I have a terrible cold. It's because I have a terrible cold. So that bore was okay, looked fine. The piston tops looked a little bit grimy, possibly a little bit corroded. So down into the race car engine, which hasn't stood for very much time at all, and you can see the piston tops are a lot cleaner. It's difficult to make out the sidewalls, the bore sides, but they look okay in terms of there's no massive amount of damage, there's no big cracks in the pistons or anything scary like that, which of course we wouldn't expect. I was also able to use this endoscope to have a look at the valves, and you can see as you turn the cam the valves move up and down, and they all look pretty clean. I've got no real worries about this engine at all.
There we go, so that's the results of the endoscope, and as you saw, one of those engines is a little better internally than the other one. There's a bit more rust on top of the pistons, and there's a bit more general crustiness around the valves on the engine that stood for a while. But actually, for an engine that's stood for quite some time, I think that's pretty good. And I'd actually, if I wasn't supercharging, I'd say I could put that engine in and it would run quite happily. So, fun with cameras done. Time to take the intake manifold off of that one and start getting it prepped, ready for all the ancillaries to go on and back into Whisper. Hopefully we'll be up and running in a couple more episodes. I think that's us for this part of the engine rebuild series on Garage C. See, I didn't say part, trying not to. Losing my marbles. This engine is looking really good. The endoscope down the spark plug holes showed us the top of the pistons, they looked pretty good. We can't really see the cylinder walls, but if the pistons are good, the cylinders are good. And we know it's good anyway because John and the guys and girls at Wrexham University, I forgot where it was then, told us that it's good. And I trust those guys, so we know this is going to be a good engine. We've got all of the front off of it, so we're ready for the water pump, we're ready for the cam belt and timing gear to go back on. Speaking of timing gear, check these out, aren't these swish? These are vernier timing pulleys, so these are adjustable. And this engine was dynoed, so I guess someone's already been in here and adjusted these to the perfect timing, so I'm not touching that. This is the exhaust and this is the intake. You'll have seen me label them up earlier, so I knew which one was which when they go back on the engine. So that might buy us a few horsepower. You never know your luck. Tantrum cart, good old tantrum cart, became my designated space for tools that I didn't worry too much about putting them back neatly, and then they go neatly back into the toolbox. And I've been really lazy, and the last couple of episodes I haven't done the back into the toolbox stage, which is why it's just chaos, absolute chaos. So I've shot myself in the foot a little bit with the tantrum cart. So before we leave tonight, this will all be tidied up and all the tools will go back into their proper places, laying neatly in the tool chest, and we'll start again. And we'll see if we can not end up with chaos next time. A bit of a short episode, not too much going on at the moment. We will need to get some parts before we can start, and that's a good thing, nice new shiny bits. We need some gaskets, we need some, I don't know if I'm going to buy a new water pump. The one on Whisper's original engine is very low mileage. In fact, here it is, look. Look, that's nice and clean, isn't it? I'm pretty happy about reusing that, to be honest. Just put a new gasket on it, and that will go back on there. It'll be fine and dandy. I don't know if that's in shot. If it's in shot, happy days. If it's not, oh well. So, gaskets, bits and bobs. We need to get a double set of gaskets for this, because this is our coolant reroute spacer. We need to make sure that that goes back on nice and tight, because if that leaks, it's at the back of the engine. And that'll be a complete pain in the bottom. I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited. It's looking good. It's looking like in just a few more episodes, we'll be doing skids. Happy days. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up, like button. Please share this on YouTube and on your Faceballs and all that sort of stuff. Oh, nitrile. The answer was nitrile. Apparently, everybody prefers nitrile. I'm sorry I didn't mention that last episode, but we were waiting for the results to go in. Most people prefer nitrile. Today, every glove I've put on, bar a couple, I've torn. So I like latex, I prefer the feel, but they're not as strong as nitrile. So perhaps it's back to nitrile. And somebody gave me a link to some purple medical extra thick nitrile gloves. And that sounds like a win to me. I'm not quite sure. The camera lady likes them for dyeing her hair. That's the real reason. And that's it. Too much blathering. I'm off. I'm out of here. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.